Hi guys, for today's video we are creating this amazing bubble wig. I have created this video before on my channel, but you guys said you wanted a more detailed video, so here we are creating a more detailed video for you guys. Welcome back and I love you all. Thanks for subscribing and staying with me in this channel. For this video you would need a T-pin, a measuring tape and a chalk. And like for me, I personally use the tailoring chalk. You could use a fabric marker or something that could show on the fabric on the net or the wig cap so that you'll be able to see. This is the wig cap I'm using. I'm using the regular dawn head. I think this dawn head is size 33, no 23 or 22 thereabout. And I'm going to mark every half inch. Oh, no. This client specifically that I made this wig for wanted half range scanty. So I marked every 1 inch to keep space and make the fringe scanty. So I'm marking every 1 inch, keeping 1 inch space in between each marking. And if you could see very well, my fabric marker is not showing very well. My chalk is not showing very well, but basically that's what I'm doing. So you stay tuned for that. I will turn over to the back and I will do the same 1 inch marking down to the end. Let me take this opportunity to also ask you guys, how have you all been doing? If you watched the FIFA World Cup, how did you enjoy? Personally, I didn't watch it because I'm not that much of a huge football fan, but when we were shouting goal, I was excited too. But I barely know anything about football. Do not come for me, guys. Anyways, moving forward, after marking 1 inch all around the head, I am going to start from the middle part where I have my T-pin, which I'm trying to remove right now. I would mark that middle part and I'm going to make circles connecting round and round, just like I'm doing right now. And I'm going to connect those circles round and round. And then the parts where there are no circles to go round, I would just make it half, like, like you would normally mark a normal bob wig, like continuously. And by the way, I'm wearing glasses for this video, and I think you guys have not seen me on glasses yet. But if you have, please raise up your hand in the comment section. I feel so nerdy anytime I'm wearing my glasses. But then we're not talking about my glasses, so let's go back to the video. Going back to the video, I marked it all the way around. This fabric chalk I used doesn't really show that much in this video, but in person it was, and it barely wipes out. That's why I was using it, because my fabric marker was out of it and I could not go and buy it. So I'm using this. I'm using what I have. Do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Like, subscribe, and give me a huge thumbs up. And also comment, like, where are you? What part of the world are you in? Which state you're in? If you're in Nigeria, which state are you in? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Just say something nice, because the world, we need a little bit of good vibe and good energy right now. I'm going in with 12 inches bundles. And don't forget, guys, every hair you start, you have to double stitch, because that double stitch is very, very important, guys. It's very, very important. If you do not double stitch, when your client or whenever you, if you're doing it for your personal self, whenever you comb through that hair, your wig waft stand a chance of coming off from your wig cap, and that it would be so embarrassing. Imagine if you are in public and you comb your hair and you have like a wig waft loose through your wig cap and fall on the floor. That would be so embarrassing. So you do not want that to happen. You have to double stitch it. So basically, I fast forwarded this part because there's not so much to do. And always clean up after yourself, like cut off the excess thread. You do not need that hanging out either, because it's very humiliating if somebody gets to see thread on your hair. Like, girl, please clean that up. And that's it. You keep going back and forth. And, I speed up this process, but I try not to remove it because I think you guys see this because you wanted a very detailed video, and this is me doing a detailed video. Not to forget, I also made this video. So in this waft, I did it in a zigzag stitch. I did it with a zigzag stitch, sorry, because I feel like personally it's a personal preference. It's not like that's the rule or that's the way it is. It's a personal preference. Zigzag stitch tend to hold the hair better than a straight stitch, and it also you barely get to miss on where you're sewing from, like so you don't sew on the hair instead of on the waft, like on the main waft of the hair, like where you are supposed to sew through. If you understand what I mean, do you even understand what I mean? Guys, don't mind me. I'm just being funny. And yeah, a little bit about me though. But before I go into a little bit about me, let's talk about what I'm doing right here. Right here, I'm sewing clockwise into that circle that we created the first time. You know that circle that you and I drew on that net? Yeah, this is the time we start sewing clockwise into it. And you have to be very careful now. This is the part where you're very careful. You need to be very careful. Take your time and pay attention to what you're doing, because this is the time when you either make or break this week, and you do not want to break it, you want to make it instead. So you're sewing round and round into the circles, into the lines that we drew the first time. So we would sew round and round and round, like round around the circle. And you want to pay attention, because if you don't sew according to the circle, or your circle is not round, your center part, let's call it the center point of your hair, it's going to be shifted to one part of the head, which is not really giving the fringe it's supposed to be given, because it's supposed to be at the center top of your head. So you need to pay attention to that. And you also need to pay attention not to shift the center point too backwards or take it too forward than what we measured initially. So those are things you need to pay strict attention to. So that is why we do the markings at first, so that we follow the markings. Okay, you take your time. I made this part too. My stitches were all done with zigzag stitches, and I know it could be challenging. The first time I tried it, oh my god, was it difficult. But if you cannot do this in zigzag stitch, you can go ahead with straight stitches. Just take your time. It could take you forever, like story time. The first time I made a wig, it took me a whole day, like a whole day, and I was sewing it. It took me a whole day to do a sewing wig. Ridiculous, right? So take your time and make this part, because you do not want to, you know, spoil the whole thing you've been doing and work hard. Some people tend to, at this point, leave the wig and then come back and now sew anti-clockwise. But I do not do that, because for me, I just feel like personally it stresses me out. So I just keep going clockwise till I sew that wig to the center point. That's the way me I do it. I keep sewing until I sew it to the center point. Once I'm down to the center point, I double stitch it, like I said, because you do not want to leave it with just one stitch. I double stitch it, and basically that's what I do, because you want to seal your stitch and lock it in. I'm just going to show you guys right here. This is me, how it looks. You see how pointy it's looking. Now this is me showing you how perfect my circle is. Now that's a very fine circle. Then you go in. Now this time what I'm doing here, pay attention to this, guys, because it's very important. I'm sewing anti-clockwise underneath the clockwise waft I just sewed. I repeat, I am sewing anti-clockwise, that is coming down the circle from the clockwise circle I just sewed upwards. Please, I hope you guys understood that. If you did not understand, go back and listen to it, or take your time and go back and watch through this video. If you can see, I'm raising the head up and sewing underneath it. If you cannot sew it in zigzag, it's not by force. Like I said, you can always use a straight stitch and go over that. Once I'm done going like 2 or 3 rows down that my clockwise circles, going anti-clockwise downwards, I would end this stitch and I would go back to the top, pick a little bit of that my first clockwise stitch I did, and turn it over to the other side, because now you have to at the top, you would have two circle, two wafts facing each other, right? So you use the other one to make like a crossover so that it's now what you now have there is hairs underneath those wafts. And then you do a little bit of cross. Please take your time and listen to what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm explaining it good enough, but that's what I do. You go back to the top, lift a tiny bit of hair to close over that waft, and then you do a very tiny cross. You know how to do a cross? A very tiny cross at the center where the center point of the hair to seal it, and it's all hidden, and that is done. Like that is all you need to do. You don't need to do any more than that. Now, this is the part where I'm going to seal it in. I didn't show you guys when I crossed it over, but this is my tiny cross. And you see how that is looking sealed in. You cannot see that waft from there. It doesn't show anymore. That center waft. And I also double stitched it. So you do not want to do that without double stitching it. I also double stitched it. Now going over to cutting of the hair. You have to take your time in doing this. By the way, guys, I know I'm not using a hair hairstylist scissors. This is the scissors I use, and it does good job for me. Take your time when cutting the hair. You don't want to take a big chop out that you would regret. Like you see, as I'm doing here, I'm taking tiny, tiny bit, you know, pieces off so that I don't regret that I cut too much. My client wanted a 10 inches range, so I would measure it with my measuring tape and then cut the 10 inches and style it. At the end, I styled this hair with my wax stick, and I also went over it with my argon oil heat protectant spray. And basically that those are the two things I use in styling this hair. I didn't use too much heat on the hair because this is not a very high grade human hair. You see how I told you guys this my sister's doing a very good job. I'm not even done with this. I went back trimming it again before I even bought it, but my scissors does a very good job, guys. I also want to use this opportunity to thank you guys for always commenting and watching and liking and subscribing to my channel. I like how far I'm growing. I'm a very grateful person, and I would love to see this our community grow bigger than this. So if you want to stay tuned with us as we grow, do well to thumbs up and subscribe to this channel as we go. Thank you so much for your continuous love and unconditional love and all, because without your love, I won't be here. So thank you guys so much. If you do try this week, please tag me at Stephanie Ostar at Instagram and Stephanie Anatogo at on TikTok. I am so excited to see your results. Bye.